Make sure you do nobody.
Here we go. Somebody call me Burner.
So recording now on my system. All right, so we're talking about navigating product launches from idea to market success. On a personal ground, I've known Ms. Affiong for a couple of years, actually from University, where one of my mentors, Mr. Joseph Agumbiade, is the chancellor at University. And I was actually one of the first people that was recruited by Mr. Joseph. I remember 2017 when we were about to start, he gave me a call and the offer was really, really good, but the entrepreneurial spirit in me said I wanted to focus on CHSG Tech, and he gladly allowed me to focus on CHSG Tech. He has been my mentor for years, and I have to acknowledge Mr. Joseph Akumbiade is an amazing man. He's the co-founder of Budget, and I will not be here without such kind of mentors. And that's why we're having webinars like this, to create mentorship community for young and upcoming tech guys to be able to explode and build products that can be sustainable for years to come. We want to see the next Facebook. We want to see the next Stripe come out of Nigeria, come out of Abeokuta, come out of Akwa Ibom states, come out of Uyo, where our speaker is also from. So without further ado, I'm already 7 minutes into it. We're going to give her 7 more minutes. So Ms. Affiong, you can stop at 5:07 or whenever I stop reading your profile. My voice is going. God help me. All right, so navigating product launches from idea to market success. Affiong Uno, a journey from fashion to tech innovation. All right, so introduction, meet Affiong Uno, a dynamic individual whose life journey unfolds as a remarkable transition from the world of fashion to the cutting edge realm of technology. Our story is a testament to an unwavering pursuit for passion and purpose. A healthy life and education, Affiong embarked on an educational journey at Babcock University, a private university in Nigeria, where she pursued a degree in English literature. Interesting. And now she's in tech. That tells you can do anything. Don't let your major discourage you. Her academic excellence culminated in the achievement of a second-class upper degree. So for you guys in the US watching on YouTube, that will be like not cum laude, a magnum cum laude. All right, because summa cum laude is the first class. So a magnum cum laude, second class of upper degree, setting the stage for our future endeavors, passion and entrepreneurship. Following a National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, that's where we serve our country here in Nigeria, for those of you that don't understand, for 1 year, Affiong ventured into entrepreneurship, where she collaborated to manage a fashion brand with our sister called Tioni. Their creations, combining African materials with contemporary designs, captured hearts with a unique high street fashion pieces. Affiong's dedication celebrated cultural diversity through clothing. All right. Banking experience. Prior to a deep dive into the tech world, Affiong owned her skills as a customer service representative at Zenith Bank. Here she gained valuable insight into the financial industry while assisting customers. However, a desire for a new challenge led her to explore the world of technology. Transition to technology. In 2017, a serendipitous encounter with Andela, a tech startup dedicated to nurturing young tech talents, sparked Affiong's interest in technology. Driven by her curiosity and thirst for growth, she embarked on a transformative journey. She did bid farewell to her fashion house, packed her bags, and moved to Lagos. Yay, Lagos. Las Giddy. Embarking on a new tech adventure. Tech trail blazing. Affiong's adaptability and determination came to the fore as she immersed herself in tech training, internships, and hackathons. Her efforts bore fruit when she secured an inaugural role as a product designer, steadily ascending the ranks to become a seasoned product manager. Impactful career. Throughout her career, Affiong has successfully managed products across diverse industries, spanning fintech, edutech, gaming, and more. Her innovative mindset and leadership prowess consistently drive accomplishments. Presently, she channels her energies into a project aimed at empowering remote area teenagers and youth to become local solution providers. I'm glad to announce to you that is TechPye and ProductBie, which I also talked about on the channels for our CHSG academic students. Quotes that define her. Affiong's favorite quote, always leave a place better than you found it, by Robert Baden-Powell, encapsulates our commitment to effecting positive change. She lives by her personal mantra, you are dynamic, refuse to be boxed, reflecting our belief in the boundless potential of individuals to adapt and excel. Affiong Uno's extraordinary journey from fashion to the banking industry and then to technology epitomizes adaptability, resilience, and dedication to making a meaningful impact. A transition from managing a fashion brand to spearheading innovative tech ventures underscores our capacity to embrace change and create a lasting legacy. Affiong's story serves an inspiration to all who dare to chase their passion and reject conventional limitations. Without further ado, we are 4:12. Ms. Affiong, you have an hour for question and answers and everything till 5:12, and we're done by 5:15. Ms. Affiong Uno, over to you, ma.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shin. Thank you so much. That was quite a read. I appreciate the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I hope that we have an interesting interactive section together. So today we are going to be talking about product launch, the idea to market success, and that's what we're going to be concentrating on. So I will just share my screen. Please do tell me when this screen comes up so that I know. Just a second, please. All right. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. I actually would appreciate if the section can be as interactive as possible, so I will know that we are on the journey together. So to introduce the class, I would like to talk about the difference between product lifecycle and product development lifecycle. This can be a little bit confusing, especially if you're a beginner in the product management world. So a product lifecycle practically is talking about a product introduction to its decline. That means when a new product is being introduced to the market and to when you decide to discontinue that product or when it becomes stable. But just generally the whole life of a product, that's the conception, the development, the launch, the growth, the maturity, the decline. So that's what product life cycle talks about. But product development life cycle talks about the development of a particular product. What goes into the concept to launch of a product? What are those things that you do to bring a particular idea to life till it gets to that targeted users or customers that you plan that product for? What do you do from point A, point B to Z so that a product or an idea will be realized? And that is what a product life cycle is about. So basically, I just wanted to clarify those two things, that there's a difference between a product life cycle and a product development life cycle so that we don't get it mixed up. So now, what are the processes involved in product development life cycle? For the purpose of this our topic, we are supposed to actually be stopping at the launch or steady, which is number 6. But I am going to be discussing all the way to the end. I'm going to be discussing all the way to the end on maintenance or queue. So the first phase we have in the product development lifecycle is conceive. The second is plan. The third is develop. Fourth is to iterate. Fifth, that's when the product is launched. Number 6 is the steady state of the product. And number 7 is when you maintain or you queue the product. So we are going to be taking this one by one or discussing it one by one. What do we mean by conceive? So basically conceive, which is the first stage of a product. I would have loved to ask if anyone can tell me what a product is. Like, what is a product? Can anyone tell me or tell us what a product is? I mean, you can just type it down. You don't necessarily need to write. Like, what's a product generally? When they say
Guys,
product,
talk. Oh, we have professors here now. Austin.
what comes to
now.
our mind? No, they are booting up. Austin, I like an interactive class, like I said, so I probably will start calling him. Austin, do you want to give us
Okay, so you mean the definition of product?
Definition in one word, anyhow you want to, just when you hear the word product, what comes to your mind?
A product is more like a tech business, or let's say, yeah, it's a tech business that offers a service, you understand, to a particular target user, or to a particular demography, or to a particular target audience, or you can say market segment, as the case may be. So a product is more of like a tech company that offers services via technological means. I don't know if that's just my definition of it.
Okay, good. Like, there's no wrong answer. So that's a nice try. Okay, just because of time, I'll just take Austin's contribution. So Austin, thank you. A product is actually anything. Anything can be a product. Your slippers is a product. In fact, a human being can become a product. You know, you can actually take a human being and you go through. If a person says that, okay, I want to become brand me. A brand manager would that client becomes a product for a brand manager. Coke is a product. Fan is a product. So when you're not going to the tech world, we're using Twitter as an example. When Twitter is a product, you know, so a product can generally be anything. Any viable thing is a product. So thank you so much, Austin. So we are now going to say, so when it now comes to streamline to the tech industry, how do we deal with a product? And first, okay, so conceive is what we start with. We conceive, that's the conceptual process is when that idea comes up. When someone comes up with an idea, I say, okay, this is what I want to build, and start thinking about it. And usually I always tell people that the best product in the tech world is actually a product that is born out of a need. A product that is born out of a need. You've seen that a group of people are going through a particular thing and you think, how can I solve this problem? And then you come up with a solution. That way you already have a market waiting to leech on that solution you've created. You don't need to start looking for a market. Yes, you do your market research. Yes, you get other users, but already you know that there's already a user that is anticipating that product to use. That's not to say that great ideas can come out without a need. I mean, I would say the iPhone, for example, people will give an arm and a leg for the iPhone, but we have phones that are cheap, that are doing the basic things, which is send a message, receive a call. You know, they can do those things, but people will kill. I read somewhere that is it someone in an Asian country sold his kidney to be able to get an iPhone. I mean, someone will go as far as selling the kidney to get an iPhone instead of buying a Techno. Why? Because iPhone has been able to create a need for itself in the minds of the people. And it has created that niche that if you're using an iPhone, you're trendy, you're classy, you know. So they were able to create that need. So, but it takes people with a lot of resource and good team to actually bring a product like that and tell people, you need this product. I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm not seeing a problem. You come and tell me you have a problem. I'm so sure I don't have a problem, but you make me believe I have a problem and I am ready to spend my own money to solve that problem. So that's basically about idea. Idea generally, the concept stage is generally when we come up with our idea. After the concept stage, okay, sorry. After where do ideas come from? I mean, every product, every feature we build comes from an idea. So how do we get this idea? How do we generate idea? I would like to throw this to everyone again. Anyone that can give one, as many people as possible, because you know there are so many means where we get idea. So please feel free to type, to respond, or mute and respond. Where do we get ideas from? As a product manager, where do you think your ideas come from? Mr. John, are you on the call with us?
Mr. John is on the call with us. And I've thought this, okay, you're not in our product management class. Who is in our product management class that is here now? Mr. Tonyani, I saw you earlier now. I thought this thing now. Mr. Tonyani has left too. I can't see him. Okay.
Okay, seems like Mr. John is
He's
far from far from rich. So
wait. Auntie Shade is on the call. Good afternoon, ma. Auntie Shade will answer. Auntie Shade will help us. Auntie Shade, good afternoon.
Okay, John is available actually. Okay. Auntie Shade, okay.
Auntie Shade, welcome, ma. All the way from I don't even know where Shade is. Our Agba accountant.
Okay, Miss Shade can help us out. Then
sorry, what's the question again, please? You know, I'm not a product person.
Where do we get product idea from? Mr. Shewa has decided that you must become a product manager by force. Where do we get product ideas from?
Well, from the problem around us. We just yes, but like there's a problem where we need solution to. Then we'll try to come up with something. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. That's a good one. Thank you so much. Mr. John, please do go ahead. Mr. John, we are with you.
She has said it.
Oh, she has said what you had in mind.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so these are the list of what I have. There's actually an acronym called E.M.U.C that is used to derive where to get product ideas from. We have E that stands for employees. So you could get ideas from co-workers, from your manager, even from yourself. Then we have metrics. Metrics is what your product is saying, basically. Metrics is what your product is saying. So if your product is saying that people need say is a chatting software, and then people are like, oh, I wish 11 people say, I wish I can be able to send a voice note while chatting, you know. So your metrics, users feedback, what are people saying about your products? You can get ideas from there. And clients. Now, there's a difference between clients and users. Now, what's the difference between a client and a user? A user is a person that uses the software or the application. A client is anybody that interacts with you on behalf of that software. For example, I can have a firm, and then I have like 20 accountants in that firm, and I decide that, okay, I want to get an accounting software for my accountants, and I get the accounting software. You know, I am not the one directly using that software. So the people directly using that software are the users, but me, I'm the client to the company that I went to meet to give me or to deploy my accountant on their software. So basically, that's the difference between user and a client. I wish we could be, I don't know, making comments or something to let me know that we are getting what I'm saying, so that it's not like I'm just talking, because I will hope that we are impacted at the end of the day. And then we now have another way, before I discuss the market trend, I didn't put this down, but there's also a second way of finding out or getting ideas you can do. So there are different types of product manager, and there are three specific types. We have the internal product manager. The internal product managers are people that build products for their own company. Say I'm working in Zenith Bank now, and Zenith Bank wants a system that they can use and be changing password. Now that product is just unique to us in Zenith Bank alone. So in that instance, if I want to get an idea, I'm going to be getting an idea on that product from the people that I am working with in Zenith Bank. So which still leaves me with my colleagues, and the and my salesperson, just generally our office people, the users, my colleagues, basically. Those are the people I'll be getting that information from. And then we have the business product manager. So business to business product managers are product managers that manage products that be sold to other businesses. Say, for instance, an HR software. An HR software is being used by organization, not by individual per se. It is an organization that will acquire that software. So at that point, a business is using it. So in that case, the kind of people that will be giving me feedback on that will be basically my clients, or the salesperson, the person that I interacted face to face with, or that met me on that business, is the person that will be giving me that feedback. And let me ask, for example, the people in my office are looking for where enter is, and I'm like, oh, enter is there. And I realized that because of the button of enter, which is red, that they don't understand. So when that person comes back to me to report the situation, I can now go back and iterate on that product. But it's a business to business relationship, not a business to consumer relationship. Now we now have the business to consumer relationship product manager, which is one of the most popular product manager, or the role that most people know about. This is when you are a product manager for a consumer product. What's a consumer product? A product that every and anybody can use. Talk about Facebook, talk about WhatsApp. It is not limited to anybody. Everybody can use it. So in that case, I will have to collect information from everybody. I'll collect information from people in my company. I'll collect information from people. In fact, the issue is that when you start developing a product, you realize that you're like I don't want to use the word a crazy person. There are instances when I'm working on a product and I stop on the road to ask a passerby, sorry, please, can I ask you something? When you are using this phone, do you press, because I'm just trying to find out from the everyday person, how do you interact with this or that, so that I'll be able to improve my own products that I am working with. So that is the business to consumer product manager. So in that case, you'll be collecting information, ideas, you'll be getting ideas from your users, your stakeholder, which is part of the users, your metrics, your data, the information, the ideas are coming from everywhere, because you're trying to solve the problem of everyone. And so that's how to get idea based on the type of product manager you are. And then the last but not the least, I also have a list of other ways of getting ideas listed here. For the purpose of time, I won't be able to, expand. We have the market trends, what's happening in the market, technology. There might be any technology, and it just makes building something related to it so cool. Consumer needs, which is what Shade and John said. Pain points, brainstorming. Yes, you can just decide, a group of friends can just, let's come up with a product. We brainstorm and start thinking of a problem that is not a personal experience. I tried opening Coke when those days they used to, for example, were using mostly Coke bottle. I tried opening Coke with my teeth and the thing broke my teeth. And I'm like, why should I continue this process? Why don't I build an opener? Personal issues, cross-industry inspiration, environmental and social trends. These are all places where ideas can come from. And then number 2, we have the plan. The plan stage is a very critical point in the product development life cycle, because this is where you check to see if your product, your idea is viable. What do we mean by viable? We'll look at the capability of your idea, or like Nigerians will say, the realisticness of your idea. How realistic is that idea? And, you might come up with a great idea and then you realize that you do not really have the capacity to build that idea. You do not have the resources, the technology. There could be so many reasons why that idea is not viable. I always tell people that there's no idea that is a bad idea. I personally believe that. I mean, there's no scientific research to prove that. But I believe that every idea is a good idea. It all depends on your location and your users. A product that I might bring to Nigeria and it's not selling, might move in UK. Who knows? A product that I say, okay, my work in for elderly people, I probably made this. I just realized today that it's actually youth that's, but sometimes environments, can actually influence if a product is viable. But you have to actually make sure that whatever products you're building, it's viable to the environment and to the people you're building it for. So in this plan stage is where you go out and do the research, get to know your users, get to know their pain points, refine the idea that you brainstormed in your bedroom. I had one boss that's, always used to come up with idea every morning. I have to know that about tech founders or business people or entrepreneurs. These people come up with idea every second. It's like their head is a stream of ideas. And because they are not technically sound or, in that aspect, they just build this thing in their mind and they feel like when they drop it on your table, you should be able to build it. You should be able to build it. So they just come and give you the idea and they drop it there. So you as a product manager, you have to go and make sure that this idea makes sense in the market at the end of the day. There's also this belief that a product manager is an idea person. The primary function of a product manager is actually not to bring idea. Yes, you can contribute because you know the products better, you know the users better, but your core function is actually not to bring ideas. Your core function is actually to gather the ideas, to evaluate the idea, and then know how to present the idea to meet your company's product vision, business vision, and your users' expectation. So that's the most important duty of a product manager. Yes, you come up with idea, but most importantly, you're supposed to make sure that that idea that was brought up, it will sell, it's going to bring in profits, it's going to attend the company's vision, mission, and then it's also going to meet the user's need. So now, some activities that happens during the planning stage, and like I've explained in the process, we have to refine the idea, you do your market research, you see how visible that product is. So you do feasibility study, you do your business planning, and then you do your road mapping. These are essential things in every product development life cycle, because if you start developing a product without these things, you're going to be building a castle on the air. I don't know if anybody has seen how possible it is to build a castle on the air. It's almost impossible. You're just going to be going around that product and making lots of mistakes. So that's it. I'm so sorry. Then it's after that we have sorry, so many things happening on my screen. After that we have iteration. And in iteration so basically talks about development. I hear I jumped something. After you've done the planning, you've done your research, you've spoken to your customers, you have everything on ground. Now it's time to start building. And this is where people normally, for a lot of program managers add in their CV. I've worked with a cross-functional team that is made up of 10 people. Very, very crucial information in CV for product managers. So this is where the management begins. You are not managing people. You're actually managing products. You're managing to make sure that the product comes out well, but you are doing that with the cooperation of people in other departments. So what are the essential activities that happens in this stage? We have design and prototype. So this is where you have our UI UX design or the product designers, that come up with fantastic ideas and prototypes. At this stage, it is safe to say that we can actually go into testing. You need to test here, to test to see if that idea or the design is viable, and that's what we do in with the prototypes, the mock-up. In some companies, this would be a good time to bring out the better of the product and the better stage of the product. That we bring out a product MVP that internal users, people in our company, people around us can use. You see sometimes when you go to an app store, you realize that the app is not, you have to even request for them to give you permission to access that app, because they just want a certain amount of people to be able to access it. That app is not yet open to the general public. That means there's still a lot of bug. There's still a lot of correction that it needs to be made. So they just want a certain number of people to test this product to see if it's good enough, bring in the problems they are encountering for them to be able to fix that product to be a more viable product. So at this iteration stage, that actually happens. So we have the engineering development, we have regulatory compliance. This is actually a very important step to consider during this process. I have been in a place whereby I've seen where a product was being developed almost to the end of the product before they realized that it was not allowed. For example, building a lotto, you know that in Nigeria, you're not allowed to have a lotto game in a mobile app. So you can have it on web, and then you can access it through responsive on your phone, but you can't have it like an app on your phone for people to view. There's a process you need to go through. So imagine building a full-blown lotto game only to go and realize at the time of launch that it is not allowed. So at this stage, you need to make sure that you're in compliance with every form of regulatory that has been set up in the financial industry. If you're building a financial app, a game industry, all those places, you just have to make sure that you are in the right paths, So that's that for that. And then we now have the developments. I'm so sorry, I lost that. That's what happens in the development. Then we now have the iteration. I'm so sorry. So sorry for the interruption. I think I should call my phone. I thought I put up my off. So now we have the develop. That's where what happens during the development process. You have to make sure that everything. Then after all these things have come, people have tested. They have said I wasn't able to press the enter button. I was not able to send. I was no. You come back to the iteration and you start putting all these things back and putting it together. Where they said they did not understand. I didn't understand what this place was saying. You can make all those corrections and then you send the app out again. It is worthy of note that at every point of the development process, you are always going to be iterating. There's always going to be a correction because as long as customers are bringing, users are bringing feedbacks, you have to take that feedback into consideration and you have to go and put those things in place so that your users have a better interaction with your product. And after that, you can now launch. This is the launch phase is when this product is now open to the general public or to wherever your users are to use. You fix the bugs, you make sure that the major problem they're having has been solved, all those things are ready. So what do you do in this place when you launch your product? At this stage, you're basically going to be thinking about how does your product reach your target users. So you're going to be doing a lot of marketing, promotion. Some people will do influential marketing. They'll use celebrities. They'll sell to make sure that their product is being known. You'll see ads on YouTube. You'll see ads on Facebook. They'll talk about a product to download now. You start seeing all those things. So you put yourself out there. Performance monitoring. At this point, a lot of people might be using your products. And if you're not careful, if you did not make a provision, your system might break. In some cases, might not even be able to carry as the number of people you've planned for. So there have to be a close team that is monitoring how the system is functioning. So there's this performance monitoring to make sure that your people are getting the optimum service out of your product. Then you gather information at every point of a product development cycle. You are gathering feedback. You are gathering feedback because feedback is what you work with. So at this point, you have to be, what are people saying about your product? Is it easy for them to use? Are they having any difficulty? You have to monitor that. So you might have to come up with a customer support system where these people can reach you to tell you what their problem is. And that's why when you go to some places, you see a chatbot. A chatbot is permanently there. How can I help you? And based on their frequently asked questions, they have come up with a list. You can be chatting with that chatbot as if you're chatting with a physical customer service representative. So you bring out a lot of ways where your customers can reach you when they need to reach you so that they can be able to voice out the issues that they're having with their app. So the next step we're going to be discussing is steady stage. Now you have done all your research. You're now comfortable that this my product is a Obonge product. It is selling. It is working. You have to maintain that your product. You have to maintain that the product is bringing on income. So you make sure that you continue to improve on the product. You continue to improve on the interaction, on the feel, on the, what your customer wants, and it's bringing in income. So at this point, you are allowed to diversify. What do I mean by diversify? You can decide, okay, this this POS app I'm working on, I was just using it in Lagos. At this stage, I've gotten a wide audience in Lagos. I would like to go into Kaduna and Abia State, get more people to use it. You can do that. You can also decide to add more products to, or more features rather, to that your product. Example, Uber now does Uber delivery. But it started as like a ride booking app. But after a while, it decided that it wants to start delivering packages. And I know in some countries, they deliver food, they have Uber food. So you start expanding your horizon, start bringing more things in, to grow the business. You continue to maintain your product. This is on a constant product maintenance and support, continuous maintenance, technical support, and improvements. Then we also have customer relationship management, like we talked about in the previous one. It is constant. You are constantly doing these things. Maintenance and relationship maintenance is very important. Management, rather, is very important, and it goes on through the life cycle of the product. And then the last stage, which is maintain or kill. This is the final stage. Now, this is where you decide that, do we continue with this business, or do we kill it? Do we continue with this product, or do we kill it? There could be a couple of reasons why a person will want to kill a product. Not necessarily financial. Sometimes some people feel that the product is not meeting the initial passion or desire they had for that product. And they were like, okay, no, this particular features, let's kill it. This particular product, let's kill it. This is not what we are known in our company for. Maybe we are known for so things. This is taking us away from what we started with, or the idea behind the idea. So let's kill it. It could be also that the product is not making money. A company I worked with, we actually had to kill a product because it was no longer bringing in money. We're spending more than we're making, and we just realized that times have changed. There was a time people were rushing that product, and at this point, their needs have changed, and they are no longer into that product anymore. And the few people that are left are not bringing us the revenue we need to maintain the product. So we had to kill that product. So we had to kill that product. So when you kill a product, when you decide that we are no longer doing a product, there's a term that is used for that, and that term is called sunsetting. Sunsetting, that's it means that you're killing that product at that time. And I don't know if you've noticed, but some companies before that time, they'll start sending you messages. They will tell you that at social time, we like to say that we will no longer be offering such service, or we will no longer be able to do so. I know, for example, Netflix does sometimes they want to take out a movie and they'll send a message that by March you will not see so movie, they're taking it out. So products also do that. They'll tell you that at so time you no longer be able to use our service, so that in case you have data stored up or information that you like to use, you can use that time to retrieve your information before they shut down the app or the product. So those are the 7 and those are the 7 steps that a product goes through from idea to maintain or kill. So I will leave space for question after I'm done. I just have a few things that I added just to add to this. I'll just rush it before my time is up. So we have product development methodologies. So this product, as a product manager, you have to know what method works for a particular product. And these days, one of the most popular product methodology that is used is Scrum or Agile methodology. That is what most product management or project management use. But there's a term called Lean methodology. Lean methodology practically pushes getting the best out of your product with the smallest amount of effort or resource. What's a good way for me to explain this? Using less to achieve more. So, for example, Lean methodology will tell you that you want to start a delivery app. You are a front-end developer. Why don't you develop that app first? as a web app and see how many people will use it. That way, you're not paying someone to develop. And for the beginning part of it, why don't you see if how many people will request that delivery before you pay delivery people? So you use the minimal resources you have to see how much value you're able to get from that product before you decide to pump in money into it, so that you don't spend time and resources investing in a product or an idea only to realize that it wasn't market viable. So Lean tells you use the most minimal resource and try to get the most optimal output. That's basically what Lean methodology is about. Then we have the Agile methodology. Agile means quickly, it means fast, like how fast can you get something done? That is basically what Agile methodology means. So what they do, or what happens in Agile, is that you bring out 2 to 5 features in the product that you want to build, and you decide that we are going to finish these 5, push it out there before we do anything else. So you quickly work on those 5. Most time it takes between 2 to 3 weeks to work on that. So it could be like you want to create WhatsApp. Now, maybe the beginning, when Facebook, for example, when Facebook started, there was minimal Facebook could do. Maybe send message, chat up a friend. So they brought out those 5 things and they developed those 5 things and sent it out. As that 5 thing is out there and users are bringing in their feedbacks, they are also working on other features that they are going to add on that product. So Agile just is a progressive way of doing something. You do 2, 3, 4, 5, continue that way and push, continue that way and push, continue that way and push. So that's what Agile practically practice: iterative development, customer collaboration. As they are working, they are discussing with their customers, they are finding out what issues are you having. They are working close with their customers or their users. They are getting back feedback so that they can put it back into the development of the product. So that is Agile. And last but not the least, we have the waterfall development. The waterfall development methodology is a linear and sequential approach to software development. So in waterfall, they believe that everything should happen all at once. So if we are doing design, we are designing the product from beginning to the end. If we are doing development, we are developing it from beginning to the end. And then we now launch. Now, the disadvantage of waterfall is that in the process of developing a product, you realize that there were some misconception you have or you had in the beginning, and you might need to change in the process of developing. Why Agile stands out is because as you are developing, you're releasing, customers are telling you, oh, no, we don't like the color. No, we could not send. So you are working on that. Imagine I've been spending a whole time building a full-blown software only to realize that it's no longer viable in the market. The customers don't even understand what you built. And you have to start from the beginning to adjust, iterate, and put things in order just to be acceptable by your users. So Waterfall does everything at once, linear. It's a linear way. We finish design. When we are done with design from beginning to the end, that's when we now go and work on the development. We'll develop everything from beginning to the end. Now, for software development, this is not a good idea. But there are some things that this is actually a good idea. For example, if you are saying you're building a car, you would like to finish the whole car from beginning to the end. You can't build a car and decide, okay, you leave brake out. The next edition, you fix brake. Or you say, okay, you leave the steering out. The next edition, you put steering. So you have to put all these things. So, but for software, you always have to come out with MVP first. to monitor how users are reacting to that MVP before you now go ahead and continue adding new features and iterating in the process. So that's my last slide, which is the waterfall products methodology. So basically, I would just like to say that product development lifecycle is an iterative process. You have a roadmap. You need a roadmap to work with. You always have to have a roadmap and to know where that product is going to. But you have to keep an open mind that the most important thing in that product is actually your users. That when you're done building a product and there is no user to use that product, then you failed, because you didn't build that product for yourself. You definitely built it to bring in revenue and to serve a purpose, to solve a problem. So always keep an open mind in whatever you're doing. And number 2, do it afraid. I think that's what they say. Do it afraid. Product manager is about doing. Sometimes you're not so sure what you're doing, but the liberty we have as product managers that are different from project manager is that we are allowed to think outside the box. We are allowed to experiment. We are allowed to, get creative to get the best results. So sometimes you might need to carry out a lot of experiments to make sure that what you are giving to your users is the best. But just do it to make sure that you're giving the best. If you want to do things and you are scared of resources, yes, manage resources as best as you can. But also realize that getting the product that is viable out there is the focus more than anything. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I would take question now if there's any.
Wow. Wow. I'm clapping here. That was a world masterclass in almost an hour. Thank you so much, Ms. Affiong Uno. I have a couple of questions. I don't know if anybody has other questions. You can raise your hand.
I have questions.
All right, sure. Mr. Austin, go ahead.
No, I'll let others ask their question first. My own question is long.
Ask your question. People are shy on social media, on Zoom, on webinars. Ask your question.
Okay. So my question is this. The title of this particular presentation, well, I want to say well done on your presentation, first of all. You spoke about a lot, and I learned from your presentation. However, there were some gray areas that I feel you did not cover in your presentation. And
okay.
The presentation says from idea to success. You understand? Okay. But I didn't see the success part in your presentation. I only saw the ideas part. Now, I've worked with tech people. I'm currently building a payment gateway, like a payment gateway like Flutterwave and Fiverr, and I say Fiverr, like PayPal. So when it comes to building, I know that building does not equate success. You can build something that will not succeed, and you can build. All of you follow the Agile methodologies, you follow the Waterfall model, you follow everything, and you still fail. So I was thinking maybe you were going to talk on. So I developed a model, a management model called PVP, Product Value Proposition Framework, that looks at creating a product solution fit first, which means that you build a product based on experience and not based on futures. And then you marry that experience with the customer's pain points and their frustration, and then see how that experience can eradicate and solve their problems. Then you can now go to where the customers play, which is the marketing channels where they play, and then use marketing or strategic communications to convey the product values and experience to the customer who have that frustration, and get to make them understand the value and how the product solves their problem. Now, all of these things is going to also come down to your value proposition, which is going to be dependent on your core technology, which is part of the PVP framework. Now, your core technology in the sense that your core technology, now, if you look at AI, people have started using AI in in their tech. So just by mentioning AI in your tech, you are a big boy. You are considered valuable. Everybody wants to either invest in you or they want to join your solution to see what your AI does or how it does it. You understand? So now, which now becomes a value proposition for a company, technically. So now my question is this: how do you now marry a customer who already, say for example, you use your agile methodologies and your waterfall model to build a good product, but now you are now competing with people, you are in a market space where your competitors are using artificial intelligence. How are you now going to compete in such a market? A market where you are outgunned in resources, in manpower, and in market share. How do you compete in such a market? That's my first question. Let me leave you to answer that one.
Okay, so I think the first question you asked is the success part. Was the first question you asked?
No, I just said that the success part wasn't captured.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe you would talk about the success part, but you were talking about the idea development more. Okay. I didn't get the success part.
Okay, so that's what I want to highlight now. So what I did in the presentation is, if you notice, there were key things I said in each of the steps. So those key things I was mentioning in each of the steps is contribute to the success of that particular steps. For example, when I said, at first, when I said, first thing you need to do is to make sure that the product you're building is out of a problem. You've seen a need and you want to solve. I worked in a company, and when I got into that company, they were doing POS. I realized they were doing POS. And when I got there, I was trying to understand what was going on there. The first question I asked was, what need were you trying to solve when you started this POS business? And I realized that there was actually no need. POS was just a selling business at that particular time. And they decided that this is a good product. Let's go after it. But when people like OPay started doing fast transaction, money points, they couldn't measure up to it, because at the beginning, when they entered, there was no initial problem they were trying to solve. They were just trying to make money. And that's why when I started the presentation, I said the most important way to get an idea is actually to try to solve a problem. So I mentioned that, and in each of the slides, for every of the slide, you see what are the necessary steps you should take to make that particular stage a success. Like I talked about collaboration, I talked about feedback, I talked about customer interaction, promotion. I put all those things in between each of the stages. At this stage, this is what you do to bring about the success. At this stage, this is what you do to bring about the success. I don't know if the slide will be shared with you. And if the slide is shared with you and you go through them, you actually see those pointers there. But if you're not still clear on it, I'm always open to questions. Shehu can always give you, but I'm in the group. I mean, you can always ask and I'll be able to discuss much on that. But I actually put out those points there. Then your number 2 questions: how do you remain relevant in the industry even without the resources? Right? I think that's the second question.
No, my second question is, I said, how do you compete in a market that is dominated by AI tech and you don't even have the manpower to match that AI resources that they have? How do you compete in such markets?
That's really relevant in the market.
No, you can't. Okay. Relevancy is resources. We are in a market where it's all about market share. How much of the market share can you carve out for yourself? So my question now is, how do you carve a market share for yourself for a market that is heavily dominated by AI companies?
So in the first place, what was your value proposition? Why did you build that product, or why did you go after that product in the first place? You have to first. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Go ahead. You have an answer? Go ahead. I'm listening. No, go ahead. You asked a question. I wanted to give a fictitious.
Sure. Yes, sure. You can go ahead.
Okay. So play a hypothetical situation.
Mm-hmm.
The revolution that ChatGPT brought about. Before now, AI has been prevalent in the market, but it wasn't as rampant as it is until ChatGPT showed up, and everything changed. Everybody now is doing AI. AI is like the new wave of the tech industry. Now, let's say, for example, you started a content writing business, a content writing tech business, where people get to, let's say writers get to meet people who have need for that writing services.
Writing, yes.
Yes, like blogging, content, and every other thing. And for whatever reason, ChatGPT happens, and generative text this thing happens. So which means that people don't know, most people may not necessarily need writers anymore. Now you're competing in a space where you have AI tools literally doing what human beings are doing. So now my question now is, how do you compete in such a market? And is that, let's assume you are playing in that market.
Okay. So I'm going to answer the question based on the sample you gave. There's a company I work called Smart Edge. They're into children's storybooks. That's what we do, online storybooks for children. So at a point I needed to get writers, and I was doing that manually, like you have said, and getting the content manually. And fast forward to last year, AI, like you said, came out, and my boss was like, "Oh, instead of paying these writers, I think we should just, these are great things AI can do." And he just typed in papa, and I'm just going to give you more than one experiences with this. These are two different places this happened. And he typed and he sent the story to me, and I sat down and read the story. And then I pulled out a story that one of our, maybe that might not be the exact good idea we are using to explain this. I pulled out one that a person wrote. There was a large or a huge gap between what a person wrote and what the AI wrote. Now, there's always this, as much as AI is doing a lot, which we appreciate, there's always this human personal touch that human gives to products, that creativity that human gives to products. I don't know. And that was why I asked the first question I was asking, why did you even start what you're doing in the first place? Because that might be where you should start thinking. So this reason, why did I come up with this product? What was the problem? What was I trying to solve? And to what user was I trying to solve this product? Is AI actually really solving? Because sometimes things are not really about how flamboyant it is. It is that little need you're meeting. And if you're not meeting up with the crowd that the AI might be meeting up, there might be that minority that AI is not really satisfying, that you can create a niche on. Now, your question is that you don't have the resource. So at the end of the day, you might leverage on what are these AI tools or this AI advanced company doing that that are not doing that we can offer. And it might just be that small little thing that you feel like a human empathy can create for this person or for this niche. Like the example I gave, by the time I brought out the two stories for my boss to see, there was just an emotion that was lacking in the AI generated story. I don't know if you understand what I mean. There was just an emotion that AI story could, it was a good story generated. Even now, if you use ChatGPT to ask some questions, there's a way ChatGPT answers you that you know that this is just not, it's not just catching it. But let's talk about more advanced products. In more advanced products, you might need to find a niche. You might have to just pull away from the whole crowd of what is happening. What are big people offering there, and ask, in my own little space, what can I offer? And in my own little space, what user base can I concentrate on? And that might just be what sells for you. And maybe another thing I might say, as bad it may sound, if you can't meet up with that space, at the end of the day, you might do sunsetting, to be honest. But the reason why we stay relevant in the industry is because we are solving a problem. And like I said, there's no idea that is useless. It's just for you to find the right people that want that idea. If you're not meeting up with the AI, the people that are offering the AI resource, those ones that can't afford that product, can I meet up to their expectation? Can those become my users? Can I concentrate on those ones? Should I get the resource to also advance? I don't know if I've answered your question.
Well, partially.
Partially.
Yes, partially. So I don't want to stretch that thing, because why I said so is because now you said something about AI not being able to generate the way human touch will generate it. That is not true. Now, if you've used something they call prompt engineering, prompt engineering is a technique that allows you to maximize the output of an AI system such that it will generate it even way better than the way a human being will generate. You understand? So it has some prompts, some commands that you will use in a certain way, in a certain language. They have courses for this that will teach you how to maximize it. So it reduces the number of iterations you have to do to get what you want. You understand? It does it so well that I don't think if you were to ask a human being to do it, he might not give you that level of quality. I'm telling you how advanced AI has gotten to at this stage. So if you are trying to match AI in that regard, you are playing a lost battle.
Of empathy.
It's like going to fight a gladiator as a newbie. It will just slice your neck in one swing. Anyway, but that's fine. Then there's another question I have, my third question. So I'll just leave that so that other people can ask questions. If you, as a product manager, a car company approaches you and say that they want to, their system of maybe doing business is slow, you get, the capacity in which they are using is not generating as much output as it should. They have been hearing about agile methodologies, but they are not sure of what it is, but they want to use it. But agile methodology is a tech and is a software related system, which means that it works best for tech products than for automobile products. And they are looking forward to you bringing your product management expertise to help them. What would you recommend them to use as an alternative to agile methodology? Thank you.
I think in that case, they can do a mixture of both. What I mean a mixture of both is in the sense that they can do, for example, both a mixture of Agile and Waterfall because of what they are using. Because like I said, Agile specifically is getting out things fast, quick, and meeting up, getting results, getting feedbacks, going back, doing that process over and over again. And like you said, in automobile setting, that can't be done. But to an extent, I feel like there's a way you can build an MVP. I mean, we are talking about building a structure here. We are talking about building a structure here. So if you actually go into that environment and study the process involved, even in tech, before you start laying down structures or saying the system to use, you need to actually study. You realize that there's actually a way that you can put down a process of iteration, a process of feedback or checking back to make those work go smoothly. Or like you have said, it might not be the full-blown agile methodology, but I feel there's a way to incorporate the two and just meet at a middle point to just make sure that you are getting feedback, you're getting I don't know the particular part of the agile method that you might be referring to. Is it in the process of feedback? Is it the process of how fast we are turning out features? So I really don't know what parts you're particularly pointing to. But I feel the mixture of the two in some places can actually make can give that agile flexibility to that kind of an environment, but yet still maintaining and making sure that everything comes from everything has the linear process of doing things. Linear but flexible, linear but iterative. Let me put it that way. We have what we have to do in mind, but at this point, we can check back and iterate and adjust. I don't know. I'm just saying it off the top of my head because I'm putting myself in that situation. If I was to work in that company, what would be the first thing I would do? I think the first thing I would do is to check their system. What's your process like? Understand their process. By understanding their process, it's going to help me understand where can we come in, where can we adjust, what are the things that can be flexible, what are the things that this is a no-go area. It has to be this process. But what are the things that we can give flexibility to and just combine both of those two frameworks together for a better output.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Bolanle. Can you ask your question? This is the first webinar that we're actually going to go over time. We were meant to finish at 5:15 because our academy students have lectures starting at 6 so that they can grab dinner and all that. But that shows how engaging and how fascinating this topic is of navigating from idea to market success. I want to thank Mrs. Affiong so much once again. Mrs. Bolanle, can you go ahead with your question? I think your hands are raised, ma. Ms. Bolanle is also one of our facilitators in data analytics at CHSG Academy.
Good
Hi,
afternoon,
Bolanle.
everyone. Good afternoon, Mrs. Affiong.
Affiong, yes.
Yeah.
Bolanle.
Yeah, good afternoon. So it's not a question, actually. It's just like a contribution to the question Mr. Austin asked about AI. So firstly, I want to say that AI is for us, it's not against us. And the earlier we accept it, the better. Now, I think it was talking about competing with those people in the field that are already inculcating AI into what they are doing, and you are just coming up and they're like the big giant, they have the money and all. I just want to say that it is just good that if you are launching yourself out, in as much it's good to start small and grow in it, you should have it at the back of your mind. Those things are necessities. When let me just take for an instance, say you are a tailor now, or a sewing person, you sew clothes and make clothes, and you're just starting out. Then you want to start out like this ancient sorry, don't let me call them ancient, like people that started out in 5 years ago. 5 years is even near, like 20 years ago, they were using manual machine. That's the best they can do at that point. And you're now starting out, you want to start with manual. You have shot yourself in the leg in a way. So I just want to say that since you can see that the industry you are launching into, AI is one of those things they are using to make an edge. Why don't you look for the resources to add that? At least you will not be behind. You'll be starting from a point. So, and I also think that AI is for those who know their own use. If you don't know how to prompt AI very well, it may not be very useful for you. So you have to understand your basics before starting out as before using AI. As a data analyst, if you don't know about analysis, if you cannot analyze, you can't tell me you want to use AI to solve your problem. Of course you can, but there'll be limitations to what you can do. Unlike somebody who has the basics and knows at least one or two things, AI is just to help you enhance what you are doing and make it faster and better. Not that you won't have any background knowledge and you just want to hop into it because AI is available. You just be beating around the bush. So that's my contribution, Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Bolanle.
All right, thank you so much. I mean, I don't know any other person has a question. Mr. Tony, Afiz, there's so many people here. I can't see everybody's name. I mean, this has been a really insightful session. Patricia, any feedback? Mr. John, anybody, any questions before we go? I just have a last question. You worked on a lot of projects that I've had the privilege to see you work on, from a microfinance bank in Lagos to my Clinicify, which is a health app in based in Canada, but they run operations here in Africa. And you transited from product design to product management. Now you're in product analytics, user methodologies, and all that. You're running your startup. For that young girl out there, because I mean, the tech field is a male-dominated field. For that young girl in secondary school right now, what would you advise for her to navigate the male-dominated tech field? You need to unmute. You need to unmute. You need to unmute.
Okay, I'm sorry. I said, yeah, that's an interesting question. Like I said in the big, okay, maybe I did say, I think in my write-up there's a place I said something. I personally I believe in doing it scared. Like people say, do it scared. And I'm not an adventurous person per se, but I know that if there's one thing I have always believed right from the beginning of my journey, my career journey, is not to be boxed. I don't like to be boxed. And that's when I was in the bank, I just felt like, this process is just, I wake up, I go to the bank, do the same thing. I need something more exciting and more. And I jumped into tech, you know. For me, there's no limit to what the human is capable of. That's what I believe. We have the capacity. I always thought that I didn't know maths growing up, and that was why I went for English literature. So when I transited into tech, people were like, from English to tech, you know. But I realized that don't box yourself. If you as a person, you are boxing yourself. A man is a person, a woman is a person. We are first humans before we will say there's a man or there's a woman. Yes, there are things that are built will not allow, but mentally, there is nothing we are not capable of as humans. Few years ago, we were thinking, how can we watch television? In fact, Nigerians would have called it witchcraft. But now television is common in every household. So as long as you can think it's a reality, and it can be a reality regardless of your sex as a person, if you're a woman, if you're a man, regardless of your background. I mean, even if your background is not a limitation, just set your mind to it and you can do it. So do it scared. Just do it scared. As long as the idea is there, jump into it. You will learn from your mistakes. I said that as a product manager. By the time you start managing products, especially when you go to a new company, you'll be scared of failing. But if you're scared of failing, you'll never make the progress. So do it scared. Fail, learn, adjust, continue. Like they would say, failure is part of the process. So just do it scared. That's what I would say, basically.
I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much, our YouTube audience. I just want to give you a platform because I know our time is fast spent, but just the last 3-4 minutes. If you can just talk about your new engagement at TechPye and ProductBie.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Shem. I really forgot to mention that. So at TechPye, what we do at TechPye, because based on what Bolanle said, AI is here to stay, and we feel technology is here to stay. It's going nowhere. And in the nearest future, the illiterate of our generation would be people without any technical skill. But we are aware that there are people that would love to acquire these skills, but do not have the capacity or the ability to. So what we do at TechPye is try to take tech knowledge to places where they can't access this knowledge. And we try to make sure we train them to become the best in what world standard in whatever skill they acquired. That's what we do at TechPye. But in ProductBie is just a fun platform I came up with where I review tech products. So I review tech products, I do like a product tear down for products, why you should use that product, why that product is good. And I also compare two products, what this product can offer. For example, what can CarveWise offer that Piggyvest? What is Piggyvest offering that CarveWise does, so that you can be able to make your choice between the two products. So I basically just do a product review and a product tear down in biz. Okay. Thank you, Shewu. Thank you for the opportunity.
Right. Thank you so much, everybody. Just a quick overview. We've gone from week one talking about the fintech marketplace in Nigeria, and we went on to talk about cybersecurity. I took that session. Mr. Naya, who is also on this call, took the fintech session. Every of this session will be available on our website. And just a brief overview. We also last week we talked about sustainable products in Africa. And I was talking about our front-end engineering faculty member, Miss Esther Joshua. So just a free just a fly through of who we have for our YouTube audience. Our contacts are right there. Our blue box values. I can't go over all that right now, but I mean, the main important thing is this is a product management masterclass. You can't get everything in this class. You need expert advice. You need expert counsel, and we have a 3-month course that's ongoing right now. Our cohort 2 starts on May 15th, and you can still join the cohort 1 if you want to. You just have to watch all the classes and tests that are coming up. And we have web development also. I told you about the front engineer, Ms. Esther Joshua from Covenant University that is taking that, and some other amazing facilitators. Ubechi from London. We have cybersecurity. I'm taking that. That's my pet project here. And I have some other facilitators from Shokuto and also from Lagos that are taking that with us. And of course, product design that we talked about extensively. That's our contact. You want to ask any questions about our programs, you can send an email there, or WhatsApp the number, or call the number. We're in Abeokuta, and like I said, we're going to Ibadan next year. We're going to be having an hybrid dev bootcamp also at Olabisi Onabanjo University. A lot of our faculty members that are taking the CHSG Academy are going to be going with us to OU. It's going to be an hybrid. We're talking to the facilitator and to the school organization right now. We're going to have an hackathon too after, where people can pitch their ideas to give solutions that can solve problems inside Olabisi Onabanjo University in Ogun State. We thank you so much. You can watch all these videos on our YouTube channel. We're also going to have it on chsgtech.webinar before the end of tomorrow. Any questions before I go? Like, just any questions at all whatsoever? Any questions? Anybody have any questions before I go? All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great, great evening.